Hey guys, welcome back to another video. I'm Jen Palco. Let's talk about willpower. Willpower. What is willpower? By definition, willpower is resisting a particular impulse we have to do something. And for a lot of us, willpower it's something that is associated with self-discipline. So, willpower is used a lot with like weight loss, right? Oh, you have a lot of willpower. You have a lot of willpower. But the issue with willpower is that it sets us up for failure. It's almost like a form of self-punishment in a way. So, I want cake. I want cake, but I'm trying to lose weight. And I know that I can't have cake. So I'm going to use my willpower to resist cake. But in the meantime, while I'm resisting cake, I'm going to punish myself for having sinful visions of myself eating cake because I would like cake. But I know that I can't have cake, so I'm using willpower. And eventually, my willpower breaks down and I punish myself again because I ate cake. So this is a stupid example, but it's a real example because this is what happens. This is what happens with willpower. We want something and we're trying so hard to not have it because we know it will upset our goals or disrupt our efforts, whatever we're trying to do. But it's totally going against the grain of actually what we want. So in a sense, we know we'll probably eventually cave and then feel guilty about it and then self-judge, judge ourselves and punish ourselves mentally. And it sets ourselves up for failure. So willpower is something you have to understand is something that is like self-sabotage in a way. It's funny whenever sometimes I'll go to my parents' house and there have been times where I've been trying to eat really healthy and I refuse like a dessert that my parents offer me. And my mother's always like, wow, you have great willpower. You have great willpower. But the difference is whether you want that thing or not. So it's only willpower when you want that cake. It's not willpower if you don't want the cake because you're eating healthy and you feel good about it. So for a lot of people, it's willpower. It's fighting against something that they truly want. So in essence, in order to actually achieve what you want to achieve, in order to have sustainable long-term results, you have to cut out the willpower completely. Now, I'm not saying eat as much cake as you want because that's not going to help your weight loss efforts, obviously. But what I'm saying is you have to change the patterning in your mind. So you can't keep thinking the same way over and over and over and keep thinking, it's torture, it's torture, it's torture, because you can only be tortured so much. You can only be shackled so much before you break out of it and you go crazy. So you have to shift the mindset. I always say shift the mindset to something that feels good to you. Because willpower does not feel good to a lot of people. Self-discipline does not sound good to a lot of people. It sounds like you are resisting life. You're resisting something, right? So instead, you have to make it feel good to you. You have to make it sound good to you. You have to get to a point where you actually enjoy not eating cake rather than loving cake and really resisting against the cake, okay? So you have to get to a point where the health of yourself, your feeling good, is more important than the cake. Because on this side, wanting the cake, fighting against the cake, you're not in the mindset that you want to actually eat healthy, or you want to feel good, or you want to take care of yourself. I mean, you do in a sense, but that's not really what you're telling yourself subconsciously, at a subconscious level. What you're telling yourself is you don't want to change. You still want the cake. You still want the chocolate. Okay. So I'm not saying give everything up that you love, because if you love it, then you should have it. But for a lot of us, we're very black and white. There's no gray area in between. We're all like, I either cannot have this at all because I'm on a diet, or I can eat all of it that I want and not be on a diet. See, there's no like middle ground. And I'm the same way, because I've struggled with this for a very long time. It was like, I'm trying to eat better. I'm trying to lose weight. I cannot have bad food. Bad food. What is bad food? Bad food, cookies, cake, chips, pizza, whatever. Bad food. There is no bad food. There's just, we label it as bad food because society labels it as bad food. But it's not, it's just food. And I've mentioned this before, it's just food, okay? But we have the mentality of labeling things as good and bad. And we know that if it's bad, we want it more. We want it more. So shifting the belief to something that makes it feel better for you. So if you are resisting cake, have cake, have cake, have cake. But work on getting to a point where you want less and less and less and less of cake, because maybe cake, you have a really bad cake hangover, really bad sugar hangover, or it ruins your digestion or something, and you cherish taking care of yourself and your health more than eating cake. Okay, so that's my spiel on willpower and how I feel about it. You know, I feel like so many of us use sheer willpower to achieve a goal, but it's never like a long-term thing, because we're not changing our actual mindset on the subject at hand. We're always in the same mindset, but we're just like fighting against it. We're just fighting against it and resisting, rather than getting to a point, to a place where we are feeling good. And, you know, if you can get to a point where you feel good, then things should be easy and flowing. And you're going to have long-term sustainable results if you're more in the flow rather than resisting all the time. So whatever that looks like for you, you know, whether it's telling yourself and just focusing on what you like about, you know, feeling good or feeling energetic, and feeling you have clarity of thought, and focusing on those things instead of focusing on what you don't have and what you're lacking and what you want and what you're fighting against, because fighting against it will eventually, you'll eventually cave to that. So that's it today, guys. I hope you all have a great day, and I'll see you on tomorrow's video. Peace.